Okay, thanks for coming. And we're going to talk about most of this session is about defense and a little bit on declared play if we have time. Wanted to let you know, if you didn't know already, at this Wednesday at Lone Star College, Montgomery, I teach a class every semester. It's only one session, and it's on evaluating a bridge hand. It's from 10 to 12 this Wednesday. University Center, room 311. And of course, most people evaluate a hand just like they did from the beginning, right? Ace is 4, king is 3, queen is 2, jack is 1. And that's fine when you're just beginning. You got to start someplace, right? Bridge is a complicated game. You can't learn too much. But that's like riding a bike with the training wheels on. Like at a certain point, you shouldn't be doing that. So there's a lot of evaluating a hand, and you know, it's a 2-hour session, so I should be able to get through it on this Wednesday. Okay. And what I want to talk about is active versus passive defense today. Those are the two basic ways to defend a hand. And the first question you should be asking yourself when you're on lead is not what my opening lead should be. If your blind goes to that, well then you're doing what most people are doing, and that's wrong. What's right is, what's the best strategy to defend this steal? And that should tell you what your opening lead should be. And there's just two strategies, active and passive. And active, you might remember from last time we did a hand, means take your tricks in a hurry because you're going to disappear, right? That's active defense. Like, man, if I don't take my tricks, I'm not getting them. So you need to cash your winners. You need to take chances. And that's easier to do when you're playing imps than it is match points. Like match points, if you give away an over trick because you went to active defense, that can be bad for you at match points. It's not bad for you at imps, it's small change. So at imps, if it's active defense, you just do it. At match points, then you have to think, is it worth trying to set them? And usually it is. So active is get your tricks as fast as you can. Passive is we'll wait for Declare to lose his tricks on his own. And they will, right? You've all played hands where there's nothing you could do with your losers unless they help you. Like I remember a hand where I was missing all 4 aces when I was Declare. It was an easy hand for me because what they did is they lit back and forth to each other's ace. They took their 4 aces right off the top. They were always getting their 4 aces. I had all 4 kings and all 4 queens. Now I have 8 tricks because their aces landed on the air, right? You want to take your opponent's high cards with your high cards if you can, right? You don't want to set up tricks for them. And that's what passive is. Like, I'm not going to give you anything. You're going to have to find it out. So, based on the bidding, you have to decide what's your base strategy, active or passive. What would clue you to like lead a trump they're not showing many points, but they're showing a big trump fit. They're looking to cross rough the hand, right? What I need to do is what? Reduce their trump holding, lead a trump. Could it backfire? Sure it could. My partner could have 3 of the queen, and they'd have to find it if it wasn't for my lead. But if I'm convinced that that's what's happening, that they didn't have that they didn't have the tricks unless they cross trump, then I got to lead a trump. Also, if they're dummy showing a really long suit, maybe they bid it 2 or 3 times. If they bid a suit 2 or 3 times, most of the time you got to worry that that suit's going to run. So you better take your tricks before they dump their losers on that long suit. On the other hand, if they kind of struggled to get to that game, they didn't show a big fit, maybe declare, rebid their suit, and dummy said, all right, you want to play in your suit, go ahead. I do have 2 of them. You don't want to be leading the trump. That'd be, let's see you take the 10 tricks without my help. So you wouldn't. So that's like your first questions. You want to go active, you want to go passive. Then the dummy comes down. Well, now you have 2 clues. You have the bidding and you have what you're looking at in dummy. And just like when you declare, when you're on defense, hey, what's declare going to do with their losers, right? Is he going to trump them? Or does he have a long suit that he could discard? If you're going to trump them, think about leading trump. If they have a long suit that they're going to discard, then you have 2 things to think about. Like, not all suits that they could discard start with the ace, king, queen, right? They might have a suit, king, queen, 10, king, queen, 10, and 6 of them, right? If you have the ace, you have control of the situation, right? If you don't have the ace, I get my tricks as fast as I can because there's a good chance declare will have it and that we're doing it. But if you have the ace, what you want to do is, what's standard defense when they have a long suit and you have the ace?
Hold up.
Yeah, you want to make it hard to get the dummy, and what else? Assuming you're in on the opening lead.
Well, I probably want to lead it, try to run the declare out if the long students and doesn't.
No, you don't want to set up his long suit for you. That's what he wants to do.
I'm not talking about leading the ace, I'm talking about leading alone.
Yeah, still, you don't want to, you're setting up his long suit. You don't want to lead it. What you want to do is look at the dummy. Like a lot of times when they have a long suit, they might have 1 outside entry. Usually an ace or a king. You got to get that off the board. And then, like you said, hold up on your ace, you can never run the suit. The strategy is stop them from running it. Now, if you're looking at the ace, king, queen, there's no holding up unless you happen to have 4 to the jack. And then you can't even hold up, right? You got to take it. Then you got to take your tricks as fast as possible. So think about what declare wants to do. Declare wants to set up that long suit and run his losers. You don't want to help him. Whatever's good for the declare is not good for you. And when your partner led a suit, hopefully has a reason for doing it, right? Now, you know your partner has a reason for doing it, you can see dummy, figure out what's going on in that suit. Like, say, the partner had opened a spade, and now they led something other than a spade. What can you deduce from that?
They don't have the tops, they don't have the tops, they're missing a, you know.
Right, they don't have the ace king.
Right.
Almost for sure, they do not have the ace king, because they would have played them to begin with. That's a normal lead. If you have the ace king of a suit, play the ace, and you may want to play the king next, you may not, but you clue your partner in that you have the ace king by playing the ace. If you didn't, that's a negative inference. Your partner could have the ace, he could have the king, but he doesn't have them both. Don't play him to have the both. So that some of these things is what you need to think about, the suit that's led. Okay, say you decide, hey, this looks like the player is going to be running all his tricks as soon as we let him in. We gotta take chances. What's taking a chance mean? Well, we want to take our tricks as fast as we can, and we're willing to take risks to do it. Because it's the only chance we have, right? So it's better to take the only chance you have than no chance. And these are things that normally you wouldn't do, but sometimes you do. Like I'm asked this all the time, can I lead from a king? Well, usually not, unless your partner bid the suit, right? You lead from the king, the player has the queen in his hand, doesn't matter where the ace is, you just made the queen good, right? On the other hand, if you need to take your tricks as fast as possible, lead from the king, hope your partner has either the ace or the queen. We got to get going here. Another thing is, it's rarely correct to break new suits, right? You give away what you have before the player gave away what he has. And you're finessing. Now you just finesse your partner in one suit, now finesse him in another suit. See how that goes over. So, yeah.
Okay, you said something while ago. You said, okay, if your partner is building a suit, he does not lead the suit, he leads something else. So what are you supposed to do? To try to take the trick and go back and lead the suit that he had suggested? I mean, they had bid?
Well, it's a good question, because it depends on what happens next.
Okay.
Right? So it's not always the same. Your partner bid the suit, so there's a good chance he has the ace or the king, but not both. So if you want to lead toward his possible king or lead to his possible ace, it might be your best bid, the best lead, but you might have a better lead. So you have to look at the whole picture.
Okay, I got it.
In this risk taking, if you're playing online, doesn't that get you flagged sometimes?
No.
That won't get you flagged?
Well, I say that, but
And particularly the lead from king.
yeah, because it'll get you flagged if you do it and it works more than it should. And it's one of the problems that I always have with it and why I don't think Edgar should be used. Because my definition of it working is they get you an extra trick, right? That's my definition, it helped you, right? Their definition of it helped you is your partner has a card in the suit. And they don't care if it helped you or not. And I complained about that. But I can tell you, they don't care about anything that I complain about. So it's, But in general, I'm not saying it's impossible for you to get flagged for doing it, but it's unlikely, put it that way.
It's pretty much impossible for me to get flagged because I don't play online.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, there's definitely, they made it unpleasant. Like they say it's, 1 out of like 100 million that they'll get somebody who's not a cheater, that they'll call it a cheater. I won't use his name, but it's not me, and it's a player better than me who looked at their statistics. And he said they're gonna give out 2% of the people who are not cheaters. So you could take it for what it's worth. Okay, back to this. Typically, you don't wanna break new suits because you just finessed your partner out of his king once. He really doesn't want you finessing him out of his other king. So, but if you need to take your tricks, break a new suit before it disappears, right? So you take those kind of risks. And like we talked about in the beginning, lead a trump, right? If it looks like you're trumping, cross trumping. If you're passive, protect yourself at all times, like they say in boxing, right? Basically, don't lead away from an honor. Save your high cards to take their high cards. Aces are meant to take kings, right? Not the air, right? Let the player lose his tricks on his own. Okay, let's take a look at the hand.
What's today's date?
7th.
7th.
That's the 4 hands. And it's a pretty simple auction. West is a dealer. What's West gonna do?
Bit of spade.
Sure.
Pass.
Yeah. By the way, what's the worst shape you could have in a hand?
Right.
3, 3, 3,
Yeah.
4, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, when you have no shortness. One of the things when you're evaluating hand, when you have that, you should subtract a point. So this is a 5-point hand. And I can tell you, jacks are really not worth one. Unless they're with something else. So this is a terrible hand, so they pass. And then east.
Pass.
About as bad.
Two spades?
Two spades, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
One
but
spade, two spades, yeah, two spades, right.
well, that shows is 6 points and 3 spades, right?
No.
And south.
Oh,
Double?
Three hearts?
Sure, 3 hearts, right? You're not gonna pass this. On the other hand, you can't double, your whole hand is hearts, and your hand is not so good to be 4 hearts, right? You're looking at that, which is 3 losers, that, which is another loser, and they bid spades behind you, making your king worth less than 3, right? So you're not gonna go quietly, but you don't have enough for 4 hearts, and you're not gonna double, because you don't want your partner to think that you're interested in anything but hearts. So it's 3 hearts. Now what does West do?
pass.
Sure. Basically, we open this, right? It's not a particularly great 5-card suit. And North Sand didn't get any better, right? So they're gonna pass. And this hand barely came up with the 2 spade bid, right? So that's the final contract. 3 hearts. Okay, you're West, what are you gonna lead? What do you know from the auction?
Well, you know, you got long hearts, because they're bid 3.
I lead the king of diamonds.
Yeah, you know he has long hearts and a good hand, right?
Yeah.
He has more than an opener to bid 3 hearts. So you know, and you know that this hand has close to nothing, right? Your partner could bid 3 hearts without you, and you can't take it to 4, right? You could figure that hand's gotta be broke. And you should lead the king of diamonds, and you should do it because should you be playing active or passive defense, you think?
You want to be active because you're passive?
Passive. Where, remember the first question, of course you didn't see the dummy yet, but you think the dummy's gonna have any place for Declare to get rid of his losers on? No, right?
No.
They got a crappy hand. I told you they couldn't pass fast enough. The guy's probably in the men's room now. So you don't, this guy doesn't have a long suit. He doesn't have trumping capabilities. If he would've had a pulse, he would've been 4 hearts. He didn't. He's promising all the high cards are in front of you, right? That's what you're going through your mind. There's no need to take your tricks in a hurry. What you want to do is play safely, and what Ron said is correct. The king of diamonds is the standard opening lead against the suit contract, remember? And no trump, you need 3. Against a suit, you only need 2 in the sequence. King, queen, that's enough. No trump, king, queen, at least a 10, hopefully is jack. Any other lead is high risk, right? Like if I lead that heart, I might very well finesse my partner out of the queen. Spades, it's really unattractive, right? I don't really want to underlead the ace, I might never get it again. And I might set up the king. And clubs, if I want to play active, I might lead the king of clubs, right? That'd be active defense. Like if I thought we need to take tricks and Harry, I'll play my partner for the ace, or at least the queen. I'll lay down the king. Hopefully my partner has the ace, and I'll get a trump with my heart. But this kind of screams for passive defense. And once dummy comes down, right, the whole thing has to be active defense. Okay, and they laid the king of diamonds. Obviously, let's play the 8.
3.
Oh, right, the 3, right. Now play the 3. And now play low. And you declare, what would you do? Take the ace or duck?
I'd take the ace, but might not be right, but that's what I would do.
Well, one of the things you should think about is defense is hard. Give him a chance to screw it up. If you take the ace, you're going to be playing from your hand right now, right? So, it's not that the ace is wrong, but playing the 2 makes them lead again, right? Back to this guy. And he's a good player. And what he does, he's still not switching from the diamonds, but he plays a small diamond. Partner's jack, and then the ace, right? So you're in anyway. He wasn't accommodating. Now, of course, you're in. What is everybody in the room going to do?
Trump.
Full trump, right? There's nothing in rough dummy to rough with. So you play your 3 rounds of trump. And you know, you got rid of a couple of spades and the heart. Oh, by the way, where are you going to end up after you take your 3 rounds of trump? Where do you want to end up? Yeah, so you wouldn't play ace, king, queen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Ace,
He's
king,
at Jack 10.
and then a small one to get on the dummy. You're only going to get the dummy once, right? Because she'd really like to get there more. So you get over to the dummy, right? So now you're in dummy. And there's really not much point leading to the king of spades when they bid spades behind you, right? Without the spade bid, you would try that, right? Like if East had been spades, you would lead a spade now. But almost for sure, the ace is behind you. You can't lead hearts, they're gone.
Trump it down.
Well, you could trump a dime, but then you're gonna be playing from your hand.
Lead a
So-
diamond and throw a club.
Say that again?
Lead a diamond and discard a club.
Well, and then they'll win it, right? So, but
And Westy,
what you're hoping for is what could you possibly hope for on this hand if you're declared to get an extra trick? Like that won't cost you a trick, but that won't get you an extra trick. What can you hope for to get an extra trick?
Their honor falls on an honor or something else.
You can hope that the clubs go 3-3, that's the hope. They don't, but that's the hope. If the clubs go 3-3, I give them 2 clubs and then I play to the ace and the last club is good, right? That gives me a shot. In this hand, it doesn't work because they don't go 3-3. Like they only go 3-3 like 37% of the time, something like that. But 30%, 37% is better than 0%, right? So that's what you're looking at is we'll play clubs and hope they go 3-3. And if they do, I'm going to get back, after I lose 2 clubs, I'm going to give you 2 clubs. That should be what's in my mind. I'm going to give you 2 clubs, then I'm going to get in, I'm going to play to the ace, and then the 13th club will be good if I'm lucky. If I don't do that, I'm going to lose what I'm going to lose unless the defense helps me. So we're going to keep our 2 options open, right? We're going to try and set up the 13th club, and we're always happy for help from the defense. So that's what this declare did. They played a club. Let's see what they came up with. And they won. And this guy ducked. This guy's in now, or he just won with this club. What should he play and what should he not play? Well, you know he's not going to play hard because they're all gone.
yeah.
What would somebody play if they weren't taking this class?
Another club.
Well, most people, without thinking, what they would do is they would play a spade, and if they do, because they remember, my partner bid a spade, here you go. If you lead a spade, you know your partner doesn't have the ace-king, right? If you lead a spade, and that's what they did at the table. They played the 4 of spades, which is correct. Now, if you're declare, but you're right, the club would have been better, I should have, so you're correct. Although anything would have been better than a spade. Spade lets you make the contract. Club is great if you have solid clubs.
So you return your partner's opening lead, a diamond.
Yeah, you return a diamond. Either a diamond or a club, either one of them works. The only thing that doesn't work is a spade. Because if because you're leading from your queen and you know your partner doesn't have the ace and the king, right? And in this case, when they play the queen, what do you play from here now? king or the three.
The king, if they play
He'll
jack on
shoot
the
you for
board.
that. Not the king, the three.
If he leads the queen?
No, not the queen, he plays a small one.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Thought you said he led the queen.
Oh, yeah, if you led the queen, you'd cover.
yeah.
But if he led a small, he led
Four, yeah.
4 spades here.
And you
Duck.
play the three.
And you play the three. Why?
Well, you're hoping he doesn't have the ace queen behind you.
Yeah, if he has ace queen behind you, it's over, right?
Right.
And so then it doesn't matter. And you're almost sure he has the ace, okay? So when you play the 4, they play the 3, that forces the ace, that's what you're hoping for. They did that to themselves, right? They did it to themselves by leading the spade. Because now, eventually, I'm either gonna get the king of spades, I'm gonna knock out, well, the king of spades is good now. But even if they played low, I'd have the king jack, one of them would have been good. Anyway, that's the game going trick. And that's kind of, that's the thing about passive defense. Remember everything, don't give him anything. And the spade lead gave him the contract because it gave him a spade trick. All they could do without help from the defense is hope the 13th club sets up. Is it gonna? No. Okay, rather than write a hand on the board and not really get through it, next class we'll do an active hand and then a passive hand. Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good job like always.
Thank you.